Yes, people, we're live. Welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. It's FA Cup final weekend, and we are 24 hours away of knowing if Aston Villa will be in the FA Cup final. Oh boy, this one's the big one. It sneaked up on us, and now we need to make sure that we make it happen. We need to make it count. This is where Unai Emery has to get rid of this stupid sort of tag that's over us, that Oliver Glasner has his number, that Aston Villa are already defeated, is some of the shouts I've heard from neutrals. Villa have already lost. You don't know how to beat Crystal Palace. So it's come down to tomorrow for me. Villa's season is really all about getting to that FA Cup final. So big up to everyone. Make sure you smash the like button for me. I appreciate you all here. Let's do some shout outs as well. And if you are watching on replay, then big up to you guys as well. Make sure you comment your thoughts, feelings, and emotions on everything. So who have we got in here? We've got Michael Dimmitt in the house. We've got PC Lockdown coming over and supporting on the Forest Fan TV. I saw that, PC, you absolute legend. Big up as well to Michael Dimmitt, as I said. Big up to my mum and dad. Big up to KBS Edit. Who else is joining us tonight? Do let me know. But we're here. We're locking it down and we're ready for the FA Cup semi-final preview. Look, there's a few things that I want to address, of course, in this show today. I will be talking about my starting lineup, and as I put it in the title, Ollie Watkins and Tyrone Mings have to start for me. Have to start. I think they're imperative. I think they're crucial into Aston Villa gaining any success in this FA Cup semi-final tomorrow. Second of all, Unai Emery. I think this one's on him. I think this game is genuinely going to go and fall down on my manager. What will we see from Unai Emery? Will we see him go with that box midfield? Will we see him go with the 4-2-3-1 and overload with attackers? Will we, dare I say it, and I bloody hope we don't see it, see Unai Emery go free at the back? There's so many ifs, buts, and maybes. And it's quite hard to know, really, what Unai is going to do. We're going to have a look at some of our previous games against Crystal Palace, where, as I said, Oliver Glasner seems to have Unai Emery's number, seems to know how to get the job on him. But I can, in good, glorious fashion, make an excuse for all of them results as such. And maybe that's where we've got to look at. Palace, we need to show them respect, as we know, and we cannot take this game lightly. But I, as an Aston Villa fan, and I hope you guys as well, do not sit there with the mindset and attitude that Crystal Palace is our bogey team. We cannot fall into that sort of trap. We cannot fall into that mindset that we should be fearing a team like a Crystal Palace. Simply cannot be going in with that mentality and attitude. Neutral ground, neutral stadium. Let's go to London tomorrow. Let's go do what Villa can do, which is put on a scintillating show. We've done it recently against Newcastle. We've done it recently against PSG at home. And of course, that Man City game, that should sting the players. That game should get those players motivated to sort of kick on, push on, and be in a much better position. So we will also look into that. But yeah, hope everyone as well. Michael said, easy win, baby. Ollie hat-trick would be lovely, wouldn't it? Big up to Kevin, who said, Matson, Mings, Watkins absolutely have to start. We're talking about winning, not containing a game, which just happens to be a semi-final. I think, again, Ian Matson's shout is absolutely, absolutely spot on with that one in that sense. So yes. Mings and Conte and Dean and Cash's back four. So interesting already. People are looking at the different left back options, which we'll talk about. PC is saying we're winning. My front four, though, it's not going to happen. Left to right, Rashford, Watkins, Rodgers, and Mallon. Again, would be good on paper. Reality of it, though, don't know if it's going to happen. And big up to Michael as well in the house. He says, hi, was just watching another podcast and I had to turn off. These people are so arrogant and disrespectful to Villa. Look, Michael, big up to you and everyone else in the chat who's joined me this evening. Thank you. Make sure you are smashing the like button. Look, I've been going on these sort of shows back end of last season into this season. And the reason I go on these shows is really, if I'm being completely honest, is to fly the flag for Aston Villa. The disrespect that our club gets from rival fans, neutral fans, is unbelievable. I didn't really know how big it was until I've been on these sort of panel shows where you go on other podcasts, you get rival fans, and you get people turn your noses up at Villa and laughing. I've had Arsenal fans holding grudges about Unai Emery still and tell me that our manager is not what we think he is. You and I know, Michael and the rest of the chat, that we have one of the best managers in Europe. We have one of the best tacticians in Europe. And for neutral fans to keep trying to tell me Unai Emery is not that guy, every time we have one bad result, Unai Emery is not that guy. And I'm like, he is that guy. He really is that guy. So don't give me that crap. Second of all, what I find really arrogant and disrespectful is that basically people look at us and they forget our history. They forget that we are European Cup winners. They forget that we have won FA Cups, that we are one of the mainstays in the top flight of English football. And so, yeah, I go on there to wave the flag and represent as best I can the fan base. And I will never sit there and basically not have high standards of Villa and Unai Emery. I will never not sit there and say, we need to be playing Champions League football. We're good enough to play Champions League football. We are going to win the FA Cup. What sort of fan are you to sit there and go, well, we might lose to Crystal Palace, but even if we beat Crystal Palace, we're probably going to lose to either Forest or City. You're never going to hear that out of my mouth. You're never going to hear me look at our football club and talk in a negative fashion or sense. So, yeah, gotta fly the flag, gotta represent Villa, and we've got to stop neutrals, the media, trashing on Villa. There seems to be a lot of hate. I think Luke Robinson tweeted the other night about a graphic of the Premier League table where Aston Villa all of a sudden were left off the table because they were in 7th. They were absolutely, left off the league table because we were 7th. But we're in the race for Europe. And if it was Chelsea in 7th, they would have included them, that sort of stuff. So there we go. Del Boy's in the house. He's saying, Talksport saying how unfair it was Palace playing Wednesday versus us. Does one day really make a difference? Exactly, Del Boy. There's a weird hate for Villa. Big up to Harry. I'd like to ask you in the chat. I know sort of derailed here slightly, but it's a good topic of conversation. Why is there such hate for Aston Villa? Why is there such disdain towards us? Do you believe that other clubs fear us? Do you think other clubs fear where we're going with our model, with our sort of, approach, with our breaking into Champions League and breaking into our football, with the money that we can spend, with the owners that we have, with the new stadium expansion? Do you think people genuinely fear us? And if so, I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on that one. So there we go. Big up to VJ as well, and Harry, and big up to my guy PC Lockdown in the house. He's locking down chats left, right, and Wigan. He's my main guy from Canada. Big up to PC, and he said, "Redeem myself for 2 precious Canadian dollars, wasting that clown Wolfie." Oh, appreciate it. Absolute real one. Always supporting the channel. Big up to PC, and yeah, you know what? Let's just silence all these haters when we do win a trophy and we do qualify for the Champions League. And Michael was saying, after PSG and Newcastle, I've seen nothing but love from other fans. But Michael, did you not then see what happened when we lost to City? When we lost to City, everyone came crashing in on us. Oh, you're not as good as you think you are. Oh, Unai Emery's got it wrong again. Again, PSG away. Everyone wanted to crash it on Unai Emery. Your manager, we've told you, he can't do Champions League and he can only do Europa League. There's a really weird stigma and sort of reaction towards Unai Emery and European football that I really dislike as well. People basically saying he's a Europa League manager only. Again, on that show I've just been on, you guys should take Europa League. You guys should take Europa League because that's his speciality. No, I want Champions League football. We're going to do everything to try and qualify for it. And yeah, let's see what happens. Big up to Ty, says that we have never been trendy, but we are very cool. Ty, I like that. I like that sentiment a lot, actually. I really like that sentiment a lot. So, the big one, obviously, tomorrow. And by the way, anyone who is going to Wembley, I hope you have a great experience, a great day. It's a weird day tomorrow, weirdly. The reason why it's a weird day is because there's a lot of Premier League action as well tomorrow. And as a Villa fan, we've got to sort of watch the Premier League unfold, and then we've got our FA Cup clash. So tomorrow is a really big day. We need some results to go our way in the Premier League. We need Chelsea dropping points. We need Newcastle dropping points as well. But tomorrow's a really big day. And then we've got our 5:15 final. So there we go. Oscar says that signs of a top team, other teams hating. And that's how I take it. That's how I take it. The more the mainstream media want to bash us, the more I get fans showing absolute lack of disrespect to Aston Villa, the more I'm thinking, do you know what? we've made it. We've made it, boys. We've made it into the big time now that we're actually getting bashed for being good. And when we have one bad result, people want to come at us. So, Oscar, you're spot on there. PC said, how many trophies has Arteta won as a manager? So I honestly don't know. One. This is the thing, PC, right? Real trophies, FA Cup. Real trophies, FA Cup. He's also tried to claim the Community Shield. Now, I want to know, everyone in the chat, before we move forward, would you ever count the Community Shield as a trophy? Because if Aston Villa, when Aston Villa win the FA Cup, and we go and play in the Community Shield against Liverpool, if we beat Liverpool in the Community Shield, I'm not celebrating that as a trophy. I'm not celebrating that as a trophy. I'm seeing that as just a nice day out of Wembley. We've played in something. I will never celebrate the Community Shield, and we could be doing the Community Shield. So Arteta wants to celebrate Community Shields, let him. That's crap standards, in my opinion. Big up to Cool Boys. Hope you're well. And we are 2 wins away from a trophy, and I like that mindset. And Michael said no. Yeah, let me know in chat. Like Michael, do you count the Community Shield as a trophy? If you do, then fair play. Do let me know, because I don't know anyone who does, apart from Mikel Arteta and now Arsenal fans, apparently. Crazy, right? So, Crystal Palace, let's lock in. The bogey team myth. Why? Let's just go straight into it, because this is where it is. Why is Palace called our bogey team? This is why. Okay? This is why, people. Palace are called our bogey team because they've had 9 wins compared to Arsenal's 3. But it's not that. It's the recency bias of why Palace are our bogey team, said everyone. And it's because of the last 4 games where Glasner has been in charge. And we're going to break these games down a little bit more, people. And look, let me put this on record quickly. I'm not here to make excuses for Villa, because there are going to be some games that I'm going to show you where I'm actually going to say that's on Villa. But with every game, there's a story. Tomorrow, we go into an FA Cup semi-final in the best position we've ever been in, with a fully fit squad, with players hungry for positions. You talk about the left-back position. You talk about the central midfielders. You talk about the fact that the striking options. Just give me 1 second, chat. Heidi's about to go to work. I just want to say bye to her. Give me 1 second. I'm sure I understand. Thanks, chat. I appreciate it. She's just off to work now. But we are hungry. We are hungry for players and positions. Striking, the wingers, the left back, all of that. We are absolutely hungry for the best squad that we have. So let's just pause for a second, because the other games where I'm going to show you Crystal Palace, we weren't in those positions. We weren't at full strength. We weren't in this era in which Unai Emery has anyone they want to pick. So there we go. So I'm going to load that up. PC says, so domestic cup and no European trophies. Exactly. And a big bottle on the Premier League last season to add to that, PC. For me, Charity Shield is long old cup, so yeah, why not? Rather win the Charity Shield than the Football League trophy that Small Heath couldn't win. I get that, Cool Boys, but the issue is that I don't count the bloody Football League trophy as a trophy either. I'll be really real with you. I don't count the Championship playoff final, which we have won, as a trophy either. Quite simply, I'm not having that against my name. Yes, you win a trophy at the end of it because it's the playoff final, a final at Wembley, but it's not a trophy. It's not the one that we look at. So there we go. Liverpool are a big team last FA Cup. Exactly that. Adele boy, you're spot on with that. And will the characters make a return to watch chance? Well, now I'm off my water-only diet. Absolutely. Intertoto Cup is Fulham's trophy that, again, I really look at the Intertoto Cup as a nothing. As a nothing. For me, domestic trophies, your FA Cup, your League Cup, your league title, then you've got your European Cups, whether it's the Conference League, Europa League, or Champions League. They're your trophies. Anything outside of that remit, you could have the Club World Cup if you wanted to, is basically a non-existent trophy. So you need to win either domestic cup or the League Cup that you're in. Right, Palace then. back to these boys. That 4-1 game. So, this one, I'm going to crash it on right now. This one, I'm going to crash it on right now. And I'll be really brutal. This 4-1 game here was all on Unai Emery. This 4-1 game was all on Unai Emery. Selhurst Park, it was one of our biggest away defeats this season. And if you can remember, it was late in February and we absolutely were a shambles. And I'm going to crash this one on Unai. This is the one game where I think Oliver Glasner pulled down Unai Emery's pants. And of course, Sarr loves the goal against us as well. But we somehow got ourselves level in this game at one point where Rodgers leveled it up to make it 1-1. And if I remember correctly, we didn't really deserve to go 1-1, but you take it and you try and then build that performance. But we absolutely capitulated. Why am I crashing this on Unai Emery? Well, I'm going straight to, in fact, if we just have a look at some of the facts and the stats here. Okay, well, Villa's the wayside. If you look at this against Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace side, look at the manner in the momentum. So the first, 20 minutes or so, you can see that momentum bar here. And if you can remember, it was all Villa with possession. And you talk about momentum and possession, and you can see here 64%. But I want you to go straight to this. This was the contrast in the game. Crystal Palace, 4.31 expected goals to our measly 0.38. We had 6 shots to their 19, and they had 6 big chances. That, for me, is absolutely a battering and horrendous. Okay, that is absolutely a battering when you look at that. And inexcusable. Inexcusable. If I get even more stats on this, I can tell you now, and you can see the shot graph there with Crystal Palace and the shots they had at home. But what was inexcusable is, again, what we created here. 2 shots on there to 6. If they were more ruthless and clinical, they would have absolutely killed us. But it was all on the lineup. It was all on the lineup, people. The lineup that Unai Emery absolutely cocked up. Why? Unai Emery tried to match Crystal Palace that day. He tried to play a 3 at the back. And this was our team. With Emi Martinez in goal, this was our team. One of the worst sides I've seen this season from Villa. And PC saying that was maybe one of our lowest points of the season, 100%. Big up to Piotr as well. Big up to you. And as VJ said, like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Look, let me just come out into this one a bit more so you can see it. Sorry, my face is there. Look, the 4-1 battering. Why am I making an excuse for this? Because of that side there. You've got Bogard, Concert, and Disasi as a back 3. Already, chat, that's disaster. That's an actual disaster waiting to happen. You got Bogard, inexperienced, not really probably comfortable playing left side of a back 3. You got Axel Disasi, who's just joined the club and trying to find some rhythm and being asked to play something different. Then you're asking Garcia, by the way, who Unai Emery has a thing of chopping at half time at this stage of his career, young, inexperienced, to go and play right wing back at Selhurst Park. With then Yuri Tillemans and John McGinn having to operate a thankless task. No excuses. We had Ramsey, Watkins, and Rodgers. But that team there stunk. It was awful. It was wrong for Unai Emery to try and match up with Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace. And if you can remember that, that is what I would say about that game. Not only that, Unai Emery, he had the likes. Oh, we had to then bring on Robin Olsen at half-time. So if you remember that one, Robin Olsen had to come on at half-time. So imagine subbing your keeper. That's not ideal. He then changed Leon Bailey to right wing back for Garcia. But look at this. He waited to bring on Asensio and Rashford on the 68th minute. This was, by the way, after Asensio and Rashford absolutely cooking against Chelsea. So when I look at the sort of state of play in this sort of 4-1 drabbing at Selhurst Park, Villa may have had all the possession. But what was really clear was that Palace had way too many opportunities and shots on our goal. Second of all, when you look at that one as well, our back 3, back 4, we had no Tyrone Mings, we had no Pau Torres, we had no Matty Cash. Okay, Consa was our only fit centre half, and the key player that was missing that we always talk about on the watch-alongs as well was, of course, none other than, yeah, you know it, Kamara. We had no Kamara that day. So, again, details are details. And I do wonder sometimes, is Unai Emery an overthinker? Is he someone who overthinks the real easy logistics of football? And that lineup for me showed it. So I'm going to crash that one on Unai Emery. The 4-1 loss at Selhurst Park was on Unai Emery, but we had to sub our goalkeeper and we didn't have Kamara. Now, Villa fans, that is a big game changer. We have those people available now. Need to play our games on air, says Gary. Big up, Les and Jamie in the house. Tillemans loves a goal at Wembley, says cool boys agree. Do you think not winning the FA Cup this year will be Villa's biggest missed opportunity? I've got to win a trophy this year or next year. It's the energy that I'm going to be carrying as a Villa content creator, whether people like it or not, is we have to win a trophy this year or next year. Have to now. Because we've got the best infrastructure, we've got the best owners, we've got the best manager, and we've got the best squad we've ever had in place. We cannot win a trophy now. When will we ever? And for Unai Emery, he's come here to win trophies. If he goes 5 years in his tenure without a trophy, you have to start going, where are we going? So I want Unai to be here for 10 years. I want Unai to be around for a long time. But Unai has to win a trophy to deliver his ambition. But love Kevin's little speech there. And exactly, since that game, we've absolutely sorted it out. And again, it is the same as the Martin O'Neill period. No one can ever quite speak as highly of Martin O'Neill as we'd want to because of the lack of trophies. Martin O'Neill needed a trophy under his name to be able to go on and say, you're a Villa great. So that's what Unai Emery needs. Unai Emery, if he walks away from Villa, he'll be known as the man who assembled a really good squad, who got us players like Asensio and Rashford and, at our club, who took us to Champions League quarterfinals and a European semi-final. But he was the nearly man, the man who nearly got Aston Villa a trophy since our last one, which is 29, 30 years ago. Do you know what I mean? So that's where we're at. We have to win it. We have to win a trophy this year or next. Right, let's go back to this game then. So as I said, Unai Emery's never beaten Oliver Glasner. So the first one, the most recent one at Selhurst Park is on Unai Emery, but he had a bad hand to play with no Emi Martinez for the second half, with no Pau Torres or Tyrone Mings. He changed the system. It stunk a little bit, and he didn't have Kamara. This one, though, hurt me the most. Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 2 at Villa Park. We simply did not show up. Who remembers this game? The reason why I remember this game is because, obviously, they want 1-0 up very early on again. Ismail Sarr, that's 3 goals now he scored against Villa. That's 3 goals he scored in the last 2 games. And then Watkins gets us there. But the big moment was obviously they scored in added time of the first half. But in between Watkins' goals and that goal, what happened? Here it is. Youri Tielemans missed penalty. Youri Tielemans missed a penalty. Who remembers that? Youri Tielemans missing a penalty. Very uncanny of Youri. Very uncanny. But essentially, that destroyed us, for me, that penalty miss. Because we would have gone in 2-1. By the way, that was on the stroke of half-time. From that penalty, they went and countered and scored. If you look, the penalty miss was on the 45th minute. Penalty miss was on the 45th minute. And they go score 45 plus 1. We miss a penalty. They go the other end and score. Absolutely deflated us. And then from then on in, again, Unai sort of gets the system wrong. Because he takes off Bogard and brings on Cash. He gets the personnel wrong, and Leon Bailey and Ross Barkley scores a crucial goal there. And I'm thinking, right, Villa, again, if you want to look at it, the difference in this game, though, was we dominated possession again. So when you look at Villa versus Palace, we dominate the ball. I don't know if you as Villa fans like that. I don't know if you like seeing us dominate the ball, if you prefer us playing on the counter-attack with less possession. But you go back to that. Our expected goals was 3.11. We weren't clinical enough. We missed our penalty. That sort of summed us up that day. So that's 2 games in a row where Villa have had over 60% possession against Palace. But the costing thing hasn't put our chances away. So let's go to the lineup on that game. What did Unai Emery have? Well, the first thing you can say that he didn't have was that he didn't have a Marcus Rashford or Asensio. That's the straight up facts. This is the team that he actually played against Palace. And look at the forgotten man, by the way. What a weird side this is. And Villa fans, you've got to look at the transformation of where we are. I'll come to the chat in a second. But chat, focus on this. Look at our team. Look at our team. Bogard, Diego Carlos. And by the way, Diego Carlos, he was having stinkers left, right, and Wigan for us. Pau Torres and Ian Matson. With an out-of-form Leon Bailey at the time, Ross Barkley gets his first start. Yuri Tillemans missed the penalty. McGinn, Rodgers, and Watkins. Look how stinky that team was. Look how poor that team was. Chat, genuinely right now, when you look at that team, name which players, right, are guaranteed to start in this Villa team right now. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do mine. In the Villa team right now, Emi Martinez starts. That's one. Okay? Pau Torres probably starts over Tyrone Mings if Mings isn't fit. So that's two. Yuri Tillemans, 3. Morgan Rodgers, 4. I'm actually not saying that McGinn or Watkins are guaranteed starters. I actually love McGinn and Watkins, but I'm going to say this. If you look at that team right now, who drew 2-2 of Crystal Palace, who he dominated possession against, who had a really high expected goals, I can only say with chest that we're going to see Martinez tomorrow, that we're going to see Tillemans tomorrow, and that we're going to see Rodgers. Ollie Watkins could well be on the bench tomorrow, and Marcus Rashford could start. John McGinn could well be on the bench tomorrow, and Jacob Ramsey starts. Barkley won't start tomorrow. Bailey won't start tomorrow. Bogard won't start tomorrow. Carlos doesn't play for us. Matson's a toss of the coin with Luca Dean. And Pau Torres, to be fair, is a toss of the coin with Tyrone Mings. So let's see how far Villa have come. That was our 2-2 game against Crystal Palace in November. And that is where I'm looking at that side. So you're telling me right now, when we talk about that Crystal Palace have our number and Oliver Glasner has never lost to Unai Emery yet. Well, I've just gone through our away performance at Selhurst Park, and I said that one's on Unai Emery, and I've made the excuses. I've looked at that Villa team there at Villa Park where we drew 2-2, where we dominated them. I've basically said that 3 of the guys are guaranteed starters: Martinez, Tillemans, and Rodgers. You've got people like Ross Barkley and Bailey who won't even touch the grass, potentially at Wembley. And they started against Crystal Palace at home. You know what I mean? So let's go to the chat and see what some of you play. VJ said he'll play McGinn. I think there's a good chance the captain's got to play. Barkley spent the winter out injured. He's checked his attitude. I agree on that. Barkley won't be here next season. That look he gave from the bench the other day was daggers. It was awful, wasn't it? Les Davis says McGinn would start and Tillemans would agree. Even our worst 2016 Villa team beat Palace. Take a look at the squad that played that day. I have to try and dig that one out. My only concern is Emery overthinking it. Play to our strength. The team that beat Newcastle was absolutely ideal for tomorrow. 100% on that. Starting lineup needs to reflect we need to go to penalties. So it will be important that we have good penalty takers in the field for the end game. I personally don't want penalties, Ty. I'll be avoiding that at all costs. I can't bear to see us have a penalty shootout. It's FA Cup or Champions League. Anything less is a bad season, says Marzi. I'm in that energy of we've got to win something. And if we don't win the FA Cup and we don't get Champions League, make sure it's the Europa League. Don't get me in the Conference League settings again. And Oliver Glasner to Spurs, that would be dusty. But yeah, flat man as well, Gary. So there's my sort of thoughts and feelings on the Crystal Palace home draw. Carabao Cup. Again, we're talking about Oliver Glasner has never lost. That's the chat. Oliver Glasner has never lost to Unai Emery. Right, this one pissed me off. Again, Carabao Cup, right? Carabao Cup. Let's have a look at the stats where we're at. Oh, and what a surprise, chat. You go to the Carabao Cup game, and let's go to this. 62% possession. Villa dominate Palace again. Same style, same theme. Villa have a lot of the ball, but are we taking our chances? No, we're not. No, we're not. Are we missing big chances? Yes, we are. You can see that momentum there. And as that game happened, these are the events that happened. Eze scored again in the first 10 minutes. So we had Sarr score in the first 10 minutes against us at Villa Park. Eze's done it again. I will be fuming if Crystal Palace score within that first 10 minutes. Really will. And what made me excited in that game is Eze went off after 18 minutes. John Duran gets a goal. Bless up John Duran. And then it was just a nothing show. It was a nothing show. And look, Unai Emery even waved the flag. Jamoa, Caden Young, and Bogard all coming on with 10 to go. It was like we gave up. And here is the lineup that day. Let's have a look at the lineup that lost to Palace in the Carabao Cup. Costa Nedeljkovic, again, the forgotten man. Diego Carlos, not with us now. Joe Gauchi in goal, by the way. Wow. And Matson. We had McGinn and Kamara, so good to see Kamara in there. And Kamara, of course, with the best rating. And then look at this front four. Shocking front four. Bailey, Buendia, Philogene, and Duran. Just let that sink in for a second. Bailey, Buendia, Philogene, and Duran. Damn. So again, got to sit back. I've got to laugh a little bit because when they go, Oliver Glasner has never lost to Unai Emery, I go, no shit when you got a team like that. When you're playing Diego Carlos, Costa Nedeljkovic, Buendia, Philogene, out of form Bailey, Gauchi and goal. So that's 2 games where I've looked at the lineups and gone, there's no surprise we lost. Or drew. Do you know what I mean? And the reason why I am saying it is exactly what Cool Boys have just put in the chat. We have never played our best 11 against Palace. So I've got all these Palace fans running their mouths saying, oh, we are their bogey team. We've got their number. Glasner this, Glasner that. Glasner can suck on our best 11 because when he hits our best 11, it's going to hit him like a sucker punch. Second of all, right? Neutrals. Again, their lack of homework on Villa, mainstream media, lack of homework on these lineups. This is why we're doing this stream tonight. To just remind people, just to remind people that Aston Villa Football Club under Unai Emery versus Oliver Glasner have never put out their best 11. We have no excuses tomorrow. And I'll say this with chest. Unai Emery fails tomorrow with our best 11. I will officially say that Glasner has his number. That Unai Emery has some serious thinking to do about how he's let a manager beat him 4 times in a row. I can't say beat him because we did draw at Villa Park. But there we go. Look, Captain, big up to Captain. He says, you are starting to get my hopes up now. That's why we're doing this stream, my friend. Palace will basically face the team his native face before. Exactly that. Big up to Vamos the VJ. Make sure you smash the like button. Legend James says, have to shut down Eze Sar Matata. If they can do that, they should win. That's what we want, mate. That's what we want. Sar turns into superstar against us. Has to be that time when Jared pulled the plug when Villa agreed to sign him. Oh, the voodoo, Gary. The voodoo over him. But yeah, exactly this. If possession means F4, you do everything with it, which is very, very true. And that's my point, though, is that there are some games where I see Unai Emery, like we did at Man City away, where we played completely on the counter-attack, where we don't want the ball. Every time we play Palace, we seem to want to dominate possession. So it's what we do with that possession and how we put it in the back of the net. And here's a little stat for people as well. That will change tomorrow, though. So, the final one. I don't need to go. I'm not going tomorrow. I'll be doing the watch long tomorrow, as always. But yeah, we don't want him doing that, Cloudy. What we don't want is Unai overthinking. Just pick the bloody best 11, which I'm going to do in a second. Pick your best 11, get it out on the pitch, let them do their thing, and let's go from there. Yeah, no ticket. Yeah, so PC, I'm with you on that as well, my friend. Right, last game. Last game is this one. Now, if any Palace fan thinks that we took this game seriously, they need to have a long, hard look at themselves. The 19th of May, 2024, Aston Villa lost 5-0 Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Who gives a fuck, basically? On this one, I don't even need to look at the lineup. Why is this game irrelevant? Why is this game irrelevant? Because Aston Villa were on the beach. Aston Villa were on the beverages. John McGinn was still half cut because he'd been seen clubbing in and out in Birmingham. It was the most irrelevant game of our season. Villa fans wanted a little bit of a party in London. All we cared about was that we were Champions League. Who cares, Palace, that we lost 5-0 to you? You're clutching again. You're clutching. But the mainstream media, but they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to say, oh, but Villa on that. No, they're going off absolutely lack of knowledge. So, Villa fans, any of you sat there before the stream today going, Palace are a bogey team. We don't beat Palace. Glasner has Unai Emery's number. If you've been conned into any of that, hopefully now I've talked you out of that. Palace aren't our bogey team. Palace aren't our bogey team. We've just never given them a fair fight. We've actually never really played proper ball with them. We've not been in the same weight division as them on the day, because we haven't put the right amount of pounds on us. It's like, that's how I see it as. Tomorrow, though, no excuses. No excuses. It quite simply has to be a Villa W with our best 11 out. So let's go into our best 11. Let's get into our best 11, because this is where Unai earns his money. And in my title, I said Watkins and Mings have to start. Have to start. So let me see if I can get the lineup builder on your screen for you. Big up to everyone. Make sure you smash the like button. You can do this one with me as well, as we're here live and direct. And hope everyone is good. I know for a fact that I'm not having this BS anymore of there are bogey team. And I really hope that you guys are locked in with that with me as well. That they're not a bogey team anymore. Right, how do I change the formation? Give me a sec on this one. I shouldn't have to change the formation. He does. So I'm going to play this. I think it won't be. It will be this one. Okay, so what am I talking about when I'm talking to myself? I'll quickly show you, right? I'll quickly show you. Unai Emery has been playing this recently. Unai Emery has been playing this recently. Unai Emery has been playing this formation here. He's been playing the 4-2-2-2. He's basically been playing the box. That's how we played PSG, and it was freaking awesome. That's how we played PSG. That's how we sort of went against Man City, but it wasn't as effective. But I think we're going to see. So we're either going to see, we don't have that advert there. We're either going to see this again, and I hope we do, in a way, because I think it will dominate Palace. So I'm going to go with this side like this. There is the other option of playing the 4-2-3-1, but I think this has been our trusty formation. I think it's where we're going to go to. So we all know that, of course, the only starter there's going to be is none other than Emi Martinez. I think we all know that's going to be the one. And I think we all know that Cash plays at right back. Now, chat. Quick thoughts on this. Yeah, PSG at home, we played this. PSG at home, we played this formation. He played the 4 midfielders of Kamara, Tielemans, McGinn, and Nana. Chat. The team lineup comes out. And you see Axel Disasi at right back. What's your reaction? What's your reaction? You see Axel Disasi playing at right back over Matty Cash tomorrow. What is your reaction? What is your reaction? I need to know. Real talk, I need to know. You see Disasi at right back over Cash before balls kicked. Are you waving the flag? Are you going, as captain says, you're reaching for a point? I've got this. Oh, it's cup tied. Oh my god. Oh, geez. Do you know what? What a stupid question. Oh, thank you, Kevin. You're actually right. Oh, geez, thank you. Thank you. You're actually right. We don't need to worry about that. We don't need to panic. We don't actually need to panic. So there we go. Oh, my days. Yeah, I can sleep well tonight. I forgot that. Conser clearly goes in at right centre back. Now, chat, Mings or Powell? I know a lot of you have already put Mings in. I put Mings has to start. Mings, yeah, I am getting sacked off my channel in the morning. So apologies to that. By the way, big up everyone. Big up Viscabasa. Who plays left centre back, Powell or Mings? I know who I want. I put it in my title. This is my team. My leader. My on-pitch leader. My absolute warrior. It's Tyrone for me. Here we go. That's my team. That's my team. This one for me. Now, I think this guy has to start because at left back, when I see him go forward, he brings something different. I hate how he defends, and I'm not going to lie. If he doesn't clutch down his defending and sorts it out, then I'm going to be pissed. But I want to see Villa take Palace to the cleaners. The best game I've seen this guy play was against Newcastle. It 100% has to be the same type of performance. Maatsen gets the nod for me. But I must say, Maatsen, I'm so cautious with him defensively. So cautious with him defensively. He worries me defensively. I don't even know who Palace play on that right wing, but hopefully he doesn't get absolutely spun out. I know Luca Dean is worthy of an FA Cup semi-final shout, but I've got to go Ian Maatsen in my starting 11. I've got to. Why? Because I want to absolutely bombard Crystal Palace with our attacking threat. So I've gone Cash, Konsa, Mings, Maatsen. The next two pick themselves. The easiest two next on the whole team is, of course, none other than... I hate this advert thing that keeps popping up. Sorry, chat. It's obviously here. And he hasn't actually essentially been playing Yuri there. Yuri's been playing higher. Now, you've got two options, chat. I'm going to show you. You can either play Yuri Tillemans there and you unleash something different. Now, I know that Unai won't do this, but I would love to see this team. And you guys are going to be a little bit surprised on this. Because he's been playing Anana in that position. So where I'm putting Yuri Tillemans, chat. No, don't do that, you bloody advert coming on my screen. Where I've got Yuri Tillemans is where Anana has been playing. Anana's been playing in that CDM role. As PC said, he's got Kamara and Anana. Ty's gone Kamara and Yuri. I know where I'm going next with this. And you guys, I'm going a bit different because I'm an idiot. But this is where I'm going with my team. Kamara, Tillemans. Okay. Next one, FA Cup semi-final. My man, John McGinn, has to play on this side further forward. Now, you could swap John McGinn and Yuri. Simply, you could swap John McGinn and Yuri. You really could. You could. Whether you do that, though, is up to Unai, who he wants higher up the pitch. But I think these two are better. I like Tillemans deeper. And it means that McGinn can press higher. Okay? That's where I'm at. Why would Glasgow want to go Tottenham and sinking shit? Exactly that, sunshine. Exactly that. So, guess who I'm playing next, chat? By the way, do you smash the like button if you haven't done so already? I think you guys are going to be surprised at my team. He's never done this, I don't think, yet. But he has played this formation. He's done Morgan Rogers. So I'm actually keeping Rogers as a 10. I'm keeping Rogers in the 10. So I'm going, here's my box midfield that Unai's been playing. And if you don't believe me, go have a look at PSG at home. Go look at what he did at PSG at home. He played this box midfield. The only difference is Rogers was further forward and he had Anana next to McGinn. Okay? That is where I'm at with. Okay? Now, this is where, if Unai really wants to go and destroy Crystal Palace, he must do this. He must do this. He needs to play the split strikers. He needs to play Rashford. And he needs to play Watkins. And all of a sudden, I've got my box midfield with the control, the talent, the creativity, the press. But I'm telling you now, chat, we need the pace of Rashford alongside Watkins. We need to stretch this Palace team. Now, it's a little bit rogue. The reason why it's rogue is in a world, this is what I want to see. I don't think it's going to happen. This is what I think he will do, though. This is what I think will happen. I think he'll change this. I think he misses out. Chat, by the way, if he how do I get rid of it? If he bloody advert here is doing my head in. Sorry, chat. It keeps killing me here. It's analyze faster. The only thing I want to analyze faster is Aston Villa. For how do I? Okay, we're gonna. I'm trying to work out how to do this thing. Remove. There we go. This. There isn't a team where Ramsey starts for me. Andy says, Josh, that's exactly the team I've picked. Big up to you, Andy. I would love to see Rashford and Watkins with Rodgers in that 10. I don't think we see Asensio tomorrow. Who's got Asensio in this? It's weird, actually, chat, right? A real one. Real one? I can't even speak properly. Real one now. In the chat, let me know if anyone's got Asensio in their starting lineup. Because another world you could see is him out. And where is he? Have I spelled his name? There he is. Another world is you see that. And that's what I'm saying, Gary. Why can't Emery play both Rashford and Watkins? I think Rodgers has to play, but I just don't know. And people are asking a really good question. Why can't Rashford and Watkins play? I'm torn on Onana. I'm really torn on Onana. I'm torn on Onana because I see what he can bring in this side, physicality and getting amongst Palace, but I want to see us attack more, chat. And look, and people are saying Asensio's an impact player, which is really interesting. And I want to know people's thoughts on Asensio. Look, real talk. If you look at the last 4 games that have gone over, maybe all 3, let's take away the 5-0. What have I said has been the main theme of Aston Villa in those games? We've dominated possession. We've had over 60% possession. Now, again, exactly chat, and those in the chat have said, yeah, but Josh, possession means nothing if you do nothing with it. Correct. So let's just deep that for a second. Correct. Possession means nothing if you don't put the ball in the back of the net. We could have 85% possession, and if we create no opportunities, what's the point? So here's my point. Is Onana the type of player you want in your team when you're dominating possession? Or is Onana the type of player you want in your team when you're playing on the counter, wanting to break up play and wanting to crush the ball? For me, a notification's just come through, by the way. How weird is this? Aston Villa are on Eberechi Eze's lengthy list of admirers from the Mail Sport. The day before a semi-final, I'll be absolutely fuming if I was Crystal Palace and that comes out. What a weird one, though. We admire Eberechi Eze now. So yeah, but listen, when you are dominating the ball, when you are that side who basically is what Aston Villa do, which is have over 60% possession, you will expect a more creative player. So Onana comes out, and therefore you need another attacker in there. Whether it's Asensio, whether it's Jacob Ramsey, whether it is Rashford. You need that. So we will dominate the ball tomorrow. We will have over 60% possession tomorrow, and we'll be locking it down in that sense. So take out Onana and give me more attacking-minded player chat. That's where I'm at in that one. So there we go. By the way, people, I want to say, first and foremost, big up to each and every single one of you in here. I'm loving all your comments tonight. And as always, if you haven't smashed the like button, then please do run it up. And of course, as well, please check you've got your notification bell on. We do daily shows at 7 p.m. If you're the first time on this channel and you haven't realised, yeah, we do daily shows at 7 p.m. If you're a regular and you pop in and out, just always know 7 p.m. Obviously, I'll put a little asterisk excluding game days, etc. Blah, blah, blah. We try to avoid, on game days, can't do 7 p.m. show if it's a game day. But that's the content we're doing. And transfer season is going to absolutely fly. So the only way you know that I'm live is by putting that notification bell on, people. So please do. But we need the fast start. We need that early goal. And listen, tomorrow's a massive day. Who's nervous or who's confident? Let me know your quick thoughts and feelings the night before. How are we all feeling? I think we all know how paramount it is to win this FA Cup. I think we all know that this is a big season for us. And to come short of a trophy would be absolutely, gutting, I think. So my theme of this live stream, because we are going to wrap up soon, is Palace are not our bogey team. Simply, we have never played our best 11 against Crystal Palace. That's number one. Number two is in Unai Emery, we have to trust tomorrow. We have to trust this guy. We have to trust this guy that doesn't make the same mistakes he has in previous encounters. And number three, let's rise to the occasion. We've played some big games this year in Champions League. Home ties against Juventus, Bayern Munich. We've gone away to the Parc des Princes in Paris. We've hosted PSG at home, and we've risen to the occasion a lot of times. Something that we can have the edge over Crystal Palace, for me. Something that could give us the edge over Crystal Palace is the mentality. We've had some big games this season and big moments needed. So I want to take that as a positive. I want to ride on that wave. And I really want to believe that this Villa team is going to do something tomorrow that gets us to the final. VJ said, mustn't get cold feet. Kevin is saying, I'm confidently nervous. Bit concerned, says Matty Parker. We have run out of steam this season. Hopefully not. Matty, great to see you in here, by the way. I hope you're well. I hope you're really well. He's got too many good players to choose from. Who knows? Maybe Unai's causing his own headaches because his squad is so good. I get that. But yeah, to Andy Brogan, he said confident. Michael says, players are based that Unai's a fortune teller. So I think he's been luring Palace into a false sense of security, ready for the game. Would love that to come true. And big up to James. And of course, PC Lockdown. Locking down the chat as always. From British Columbia, Canada, up the bloody Villa. Because we do that here. You let those content creators know. We will say what we want as we're Aston Villa. We're the mighty Aston Villa. And we've got a star on our chest. And big up to Andy Brogan. Andy Brogan, legend, mate. Absolute legend. Appreciate all the love and support on here. And look, we're starting to cook. We're going to do this. Pray. Superstitions. Guys, I'm going to have my magic top on tomorrow. I've worn it for every FA Cup game this season. And only FA Cup games. Which is our magic FA Cup top back in the day. I will show you on the watch along tomorrow. But get your lucky superstitions ready for tomorrow. Use the lucky things. As I said, I've only ever worn this T-shirt during the FA Cup games, and it seems to have worked. It's the one with the stripes. So I'm loving that top. It's going to work. It's going to give us good omens. And hopefully, chat, it's exactly what we need. And, of course, another legend in the house. Vamos, VJ. No, it's Vamos, VJ. Vamos, VJ. Vamos. Vamos. Vamos, VJ. Vamos, VJ. Vamos. Vamos. Legends in the house, left, right, and Wigan. When we're watching tomorrow, we've got a huge game. Renner project starting up. Busy, busy, busy. A huge home. Damn, PC. You're a legend, though, my friend. And I'm sure you'll catch everything. But, chat, We'll be live tomorrow for the watch along. If you like the watch alongs, if you want to watch football with fellow Villa fans, we are the place to do it. We bring the energy, we bring the hype, and the community in the chat is quality. So listen, watch along, lock it in, notification bells turned on, and yeah, let's just get to 5:15 tomorrow because that's where it begins. We're going to be waiting all day. We're going to be high of anticipation. And it's going to be a great occasion. So there we go. Michael's got to play cricket. Well, you better hope you get a bit of Duckworth Lewis in there or quick overs. But yeah, I'll be thinking of your PC. Legend Jamie, legend. Andy, your legend. Big up to my mum. Big up to Gary, to Vamos VJ. Big up to Kevin, to Andy Brogan, to Matty Parker as well. Big up to James Wood. Big up to PF Sports as well. He's been in here. Big up to Ty Doyle. Big up as well to so many of you who've been in chat. Mark Dempsey. Thank you to everyone. And if you've just been someone who's been silently listening, big up to Villaman Cloudy. If you've been silently listening in the background, not commenting, you're also a legend. Thank you for the support. I'm going to bow out of here. Game day tomorrow. Get an early night. Lock it up, lock it in. Let Villa begin. People, enjoy your Friday nights. I'm done. Score prediction? It's coming tomorrow, Michael. It's all on those lineups. It's all on those lineups. Up the bloody Villa, up the effing Villa, up the bloody Villa. I'm out of here. Ta-da.